to those who, like him, refuse to be defined by their past, but instead choose to build their own future.
I keep it moving like a shark swims, roll through you like a bowling ball, all 10-10. Yes, we could be friends, but you be on that sucker shit. Don't forget, I'm not the one with whom you should be fucking with.
This is the first episode of the new year, Music Therapy and Motivation with Gino Black. I'm here to introduce you to Khari. Some know him as Khari BTB. We're going to do a little bit of a Q&A, but we're just going to keep it conversational like we always do with the other people that have been on the platform. Welcome to the show, bro. Introduce yourself.
Man, thank you for having me, man. It's Khari BTB, hailing from Cincinnati, Ohio, man. You know, color people time out everywhere. Thank you for having me. Yes, sir.
Oh, absolutely, bro. I listened to the project.
Yeah.
When it was just on Bandcamp.
Yeah.
And I really love the way that y'all did the teaser with the Spotify platform straight, yo. That was brilliant, bro. I gotta give it to y'all on that. That was brilliant.
Thank you.
Let's start the beginning. Let's just act like for the people that know you, let's act like they don't know you for now.
Right.
And I'm gonna push this to my audience so they get to know you.
Yeah.
And then let's help each other expand each other's reach here. So when did you get started? We don't want to talk about when you first had your dream, you know what I'm saying? When I was 3 years old, I did this, such and such. But like, when did you decide you want to do this professionally? Tell me a little bit about that beginning.
Yeah. So I was playing ball, man. I was up in Canada playing ball. And, you know, I rapped my whole life. I knew it was what I wanted to do, but I always like kind of push back on it because of my basketball dreams, my hoop dreams. I was up in Canada playing for about a month, and then I got cut. And so I came back home with just like, you know, with just a business degree, not knowing what to do next with my life. And then I'm like, hold on, I'm tripping. Like, no, I'm about to really start this music, you know? So that's kind of what propelled me to start pursuing it professionally. And the good thing about it was I already had, you know, a bunch of stuff written, bunch of stuff, you know, that I knew I wanted to, the stories that I wanted to tell. So I just jumped out and started working on my first project. But I really just started with, you know, doing freestyles online, trying to build my following up, my fan base up around the city. And then I just dropped my first project. And from there, I haven't stopped. That was 2019. And from there, every year, I've been at it since. So, yeah, man, it was really like it was a crossroads for me because I'm like, what I'm going to do with my life, you know, what legacy I want to leave. I was all basketball. I wanted to go to the NBA. I wanted to play overseas, all this stuff. So there, it was just like, okay, that was a roadblock dealing with that. And then I just had to tell myself, you know, what was it, my real passion, you know what I mean? In music.
Right.
My true passion, you know, even in the midst of playing basketball. So that's kind of how I jumped off. Yeah.
And then say, for example, that's the year before the pandemic. So in 2019, you get serious and then the world gets shut down.
Exactly, man, which is crazy too.
What was that like?
It was wild because like that. So when I dropped my project in 2019, it was going. So that's when I met Jesse. He heard that, you know, and that made him reach out to me, wanted to work with me. And we were planning things all 2019, you know, going into 2020. After that project had dropped, it did well in the city. You know, I started performing shows. I'm starting to get paid shows, starting to get paid gigs. And I'm like, okay, this is my career. Like, this is what I do now. And then literally, boom, you know, we come into 2020, had goals. And then in March, the pandemic hit. Crazy thing, too, my son was about to be born. He a COVID baby. So all this stuff was happening at the same time. Like, man, what is happening? I had just got the Rhapsody co-sign like a month.
Okay.
In 2020, I went to her show she had in February of 2020. Literally got that co-sign from her after rapping for her, posted that up online. It was going viral. And then a month later, the pandemic happened. So it was like I didn't feel discouraged because, you know, I always knew like, you know, my music gonna get out there somehow, but it was like it was like, all right, we got to adjust and get creative.
Right.
So it forced us to get creative with marketing, which I think is, you know, now, you know, being able to bring that back full circle now.
Yeah, definitely. It forced you to think a little differently in that time.
Yeah.
And then were you, during that time, obviously you were becoming a father at that time, but were you recording a lot? Were you writing a lot? How'd you spend that time?
Yeah, I was recording writing every day. That's when I had got my home studio set up. I had got it set up by the end of 2019. And I got it all set up. So I started recording myself, starting to learn how to, do some pre-mixing myself, pre-mastering,
right,
and just getting my thoughts down. So I was able to, still release music, even though I wasn't going to the studio during the pandemic, really. So I was still writing, recording, putting out music, putting out freestyles, still keeping the foot on the gas, if you will. So it was all like very. For me, I always looked at it like I'm gonna find a way. You know what I mean? Nothing's gonna stop
right,
from
right,
doing this. So I'm not. There's no excuses over this way. So it's like, let's figure it out. Yeah.
right. And that's a beautiful thing in and of itself. Like you said, you becoming a father at that same time. You have the pandemic, baby, you're in the middle of the pandemic, but you're still pushing. That's the thing. Like I find in my experience working with different artists in different companies that everybody always has an excuse built in. It's an excuse for everything. An excuse, somebody once said to me, they said an excuse is just a well-dressed lie.
Yes.
And it sounds like from what you're telling me, you are not that type of guy. You're not making no excuses.
Nah,
It's let's get it done.
we
Yeah.
got we got to. That's the only way we can. Like,
Yeah.
I like that gym too. That's dope. Like, because excuses are just fancy dressed up lies. Like, they
Yeah.
build walls. They build walls. I'm all about
Yeah.
build bridges. You know what I mean? So how can we build this bridge to connect to where we're trying to go? So yeah, man, we couldn't wait around. And if, like I said, it forced us to get creative and forced us to do, like, I was doing live shows on my Instagram live. Doing different stuff, man, to get and I think that's when my following grew truly, because I was online learning the ins and outs of, the algorithm,
Right, right, right.
all that, because we had time to figure that out. So it helped, man. It helped in the long run.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great. That's good stuff. So when you were doing that, were you teaching at the time in
So
2019?
no, I wasn't. I had just finished up, like I said, I had just finished up my bachelor's in business.
Yes, you did say that. Yeah.
And when I came back home from Canada, I took like a year off of, I was just working, doing little jobs. I was working whatever. And then I started working in a school as a teacher assistant. And I end up going back to school for my master's to get my master's in education, because the principal at that school told me, like, yo, you need to go back to school. We need more black male educators. I didn't even
Definitely.
notice the impact that I had on the kids. I was just being myself in the school, just doing what I can to help out around the school. But what I started to notice was, like, all the students, would take to me and would listen to me more than the teachers that was there, and my the principal that was there at the time, she said, go back to school, get your educator license, get your master's, all that. So I just did it, man. And I was literally getting my master's, during the pandemic, while having a son, while doing the music, finished all that up and was able to start teaching in 2021. That was my first year of teaching, and actually as an official teacher in the school system. So yeah, man, it's been a crazy, crazy journey the last 4 years.
That's dope, man. And if you don't mind me asking, how old are you?
28.
Okay, so this is what I want my listeners to understand. If you're
Yeah.
listening on iHeart or Spotify or whatever, listen, this man is under 30. This man is an educator, he's a father, he's a hip hop artist. Y'all don't got no excuses.
No.
Y'all don't got no excuses. Y'all don't got no excuses. That's beautiful. And you're a full-time father.
Yes, absolutely. Number
Yeah,
one.
that's great stuff, bro. And then tell me, because I don't know, I'm out the loop, but tell me what's the BTB? What's that about?
So yeah, BTB, it stands for Be the Best. That's my movement. First and foremost, that's my movement. Started from, my grandfather passed in 2017, and those like three words he used to say to me before basketball games, before I went to school. And he was a big part of my life, along with my father. Like, those two, like, really shaped me to who I am today. And when he passed away, I started to, I was like in this like dark place really. And the only thing that brought me out of that was music. So I started doing like these Be the Best freestyles and honor him. And then so it started off like that, but then it became the basis for my business. And that's when I started my entertainment company, BTB Entertainment. With divisions, we got a record label, we have media, we throw events, BTB Media. We do films, BTB Films, and just do stuff for the community as well. So we're in every medium that we can think of that involves hip hop. So we just use hip hop to show people that they can be the best version of themselves. Whether it's through music, through film, through events that we put on, through things that we do with the youth in the community. So that's everything, man, in a nutshell, for real. But it's really a movement. BTB is really the movement. Yeah.
I dig that. I dig that a lot. That's dope, bro.
Yeah.
That's dope. That's real dope. And that lends to you being able to have a lot of creative control over your own direction when you're creating these divisions and these pockets, and you have your label, then you have your media, then you have your film. That allows you to cultivate an entire community to push your message forward. That's dope.
Absolutely.
That's real dope. Do you have the other artists that you work with along with that beyond yourself with BTB?
Yes, sir. Yeah, we have Banks.
Shout them out. Shout them out.
Banks. Yeah, that's my brother, man. That's my brother, man. Dope artist. Just super passionate about what he's doing. Super dope. Then you got my cousin Rebel. So that's my blood, my right hand. She's just freaking, I can't even describe it. She's out of this world, like lyrically, flow wise, can do any type of style. A great mother as well. She's just a dope human being, and very into the community when it comes to like the psychology of young girls. She's in school for psychology. So we all do different things, other than the music. That's
right.
Was one of my biggest things. Like music is just how we, that's our language that we speak. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
To get our message across. Yes, that's what we want to do. But how are we going to impact? What pocket of people do we want to impact? For me, it's the youth. For her, it's it's the young teen girls dealing with mental issues. For Banks, it's people with disabilities. Because of his disability. So we all have our own, things that we're trying to impact. And then we got, Day Butter. He's another dope artist. We got a dope R&B singer, Kiara Brene, a super, super talented artist by the name of Wave Parker. And he just does everything. He can do anything from shoot videos, make graphics. He handles all that for us. And he's a dope artist as well, putting out project after project. So, that's our team right there. And then we got people behind the scenes that's doing their due diligence as well. But those are the people that's, our artists and our people in the community.
That's dope, man. And I like how you put that, because I often talk to the artists that I work with about that. This music is just a gateway. Yeah. You can use this as a gateway for just for really quickly. For me, I had an issue with drinking in the past. So I'm on a sobriety journey, so I created a nonprofit to help other people deal with their sobriety, get help, get coaching, get resources. We call it the Sober Hustle Club.
That's fine.
Yeah, that is what I do outside of music, and I give that back because that's nonprofit. But we also created a side business with that, because now we got merchandise for Sober Hustle Club. So that created a whole nother stream of revenue. And so just like you were mentioning, some of your artists are into mental health and mental wellness. That's what I got, some people doing the same exact thing. So I love to hear that, bro. The music is just a gateway for us to do bigger and better things and make a better impact. And if it's not an impact, then it's another way to have another stream of income.
Right.
Either way you look at it, it's good to look beyond the music, but the music is what gets that connection, that gets that engagement, that gets people to trust you, to know that what you say is the truth because you're being your authentic self anyway. Exactly. So I like that. I like that. Yeah. And so let me segue into the big topic I got is color people time.
Come on.
Bro. Talk about it. Tell me the concept, and my listeners and my viewers the concept of this album project that you got out now called Color People Time. Tell me about that.
It's a layered concept, man. But the first thing is really the idea of, as Black people, the notion of color people time, right? They say that we always late. So I took that kind of stereotype and wanted to, flip it on his head and turn it into like the deeper meaning of this project, which is, no one can rush our greatness, especially for me personally. I know I was telling myself on this journey, you know, dang, when is gonna be my time, you know, when I'm gonna reach the heights that I know I can reach, when I'm gonna be a household name, when I'm gonna be able to do all the things that I set out to do, go on tour, sell millions of records, all these things that I want to do and that I plan to do. But then I had to check myself, you know, these are these goals that I set for myself. Um, I'm looking at them from the lens of the outside world and where they expect me to be, and you know, want me to be, and saying like, oh, by this time you should be here, and it's like, nah, I had to check myself and appreciate the journey. So it was really just me finding, you know, solace in the journey, being able to say, hey, I'm gonna get there when I get there because I'm already there. You know what I mean? I'm pretty successful by just doing it. You know, a lot of people can't even get past, you know, recording a song and putting it out, you know, to people.
Right. 100%. Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that was really like the main overarching theme of it. Just me not letting no one rush my greatness and letting me know when I have to be somewhere as far as success goes. But then, you know, the other meanings we get into like is, you know, what it means to be Black in this time period, in this time that we in, you know, and what it meant to be Black growing up, what it means to be Black in the future. So just playing with time, and it has this time travel concept that I into it, you know, and going through different time periods of my life and how the past affects my future, my present, you know. So it's many meanings, you know. If people listen, they'll get that. And then just the sound of it, I wanted the sound to take people through different, you know, emotions and time periods. You know, it's aggressive to start off, it's in your face, it's knocking, you know, the first half of it. Then the second half, we get soulful and we take people onto that journey to like kind of pull back the layers of what this project is all talking about. So, you know, and I look at it like it's on a loop. If you play the first song, Back to the Future, and then once you get to the last song, Back to the Past, if you play it right back, it feels like a loop. And we right back to the story. So it's like, you know, just doing little creative things that I like to do, man, to the project.
It's effective. It's effective because I miss the days of concept albums. I miss the days that there's a lot of thought put into every inch of the album's playtime. You know what I mean? And like I love the sonics of the album myself. I love how it actually, you know what? I love how it feels. I love how the record feels after I got a few songs in and I caught the vibe and I caught the frequency, you know what I'm saying? And sonically and the textural of everything, it just lends to rotation and repeat play. And then even if somebody doesn't get your messages and what you're relaying the first time, as they fall back into it, like you said, on that loop, it'll start to penetrate. So I think it was great execution. And I told your manager that. I think it was great execution creatively, and I thought it was great execution the way y'all did the rollout. Within the selection process for what made the album, are you the type of artist that record a bunch of stuff and then place it together, or did from the very beginning you knew conceptually this is going and then this follows and this follows and this follows?
So now I'm definitely like a throw the paint on the wall, you know. Once I know the concept and all those, I will say like for this project, I probably recorded 16 made the project, so I probably recorded at least like 25 to 30 songs for it. And you know, and all those songs, like even if I were to drop those songs, they would fit into this theme. It's just about, you know, for me sonically, what would make sense together. But yeah, I'm definitely like a work backwards type of when I think conceptually, like I know where I want to end and I know where I'm gonna go with it. So let's fill in the blanks, you know, to make sure everything you know, makes sense. So yeah, I threw paint on the wall with this, man. Like I do with every other project. I threw the paint on the wall and pick from the best, you know, the best parts of that palette that we were able to lay out. So yeah.
And then so far with you, from what you've heard back yourself, what's the feedback been that people telling you after listening to it?
It's been incredible. Probably the best, you know, I've gotten so far. And it's interesting because you know, in the past when I've dropped music, I'm like, man, this gonna be the one. Like everybody gonna love it. And people loved it, but it didn't do my expectations. My expectations were here for the external world, but it didn't meet those expectations that I had. It was great, but it didn't meet the expectations that I had for myself. With this one, I told myself, I'm not gonna measure my success with this project by, streams and what people are saying online. But crazy thing about it is it's been the best I've gotten.
Gotcha.
Being able to sell this direct has been amazing. The most I've ever, been able to sell on a project. Most streams that I've gotten in the how long we almost had a month. The most streams I gotten in a month. And it's just interesting when you change your perspective, things start to kind of work for you. But yeah,
Definitely.
been the feedback has been amazing, and just reaching. What I like about the feedback is I'm getting, feedback from people that I don't know and people that don't even know me. I feel like the last previous projects, it's been people that I know kind of in maybe
Right.
high school with them, or I know them from this, them from doing this show with this artist, or knowing, but I'm getting, feedback from people that I really truly don't know, and they genuine.
I love feedback from strangers
Yes, it's the
because
best.
it's brutally honest.
Yeah,
They love it, they hate it, they give you constructive criticism.
yeah,
Your friends are biased, whether they believe it, whether they admit it or not. Your friends are always going to be biased. Either they a hater or they just going to tell you it's good just because it's you.
exactly.
It's one or the other. But them strangers, you get the real information and you get the
Yeah,
real feedback. And then you get the impact when you start getting those stories back,
right.
like, well, your song made me feel like this, or your song got me through this, or that song pushed me to continue doing this, or your whole project for that matter.
Yeah,
Those are the best, especially when it comes from an unknown source. You don't know this person, so there's no gaslighting, there's no
it,
ass kissing. It's authentic. I love that.
mm-hmm.
Um, and so currently, I know it's only been out for a little bit. Do you feel like you just mentioned you're feeling like it's giving you what you want for what you internally desire to get back from it, beyond the streams, beyond the sales? Do you
Mm-hmm.
feel like people are getting the message that you wanted to put out?
Yes, and that's what's been, very, fulfilling for me, because I know the effort that I put into uh putting this concept together has been, months of just racking my brain and making sure people, take to it. And I've been
Mm-hmm.
getting that, man, and some people take different things from it that I didn't even intend, what I mean?
Right.
But
Yeah.
take it and turn it into something that means something to them, one person told me, and I didn't even know who this person was. They reached out to me Instagram DM and just said they listened to my song Borrowed Time, and
Mm-hmm.
they said that made them think about their aunt passing away, and how they, we living on a borrowed time, and then it made them reflect on, because their aunt had just passed away, made them just reflect on not taking their family for granted, and not taking the people around them for granted, because we all on a borrowed time. So that was like, man, that's dope.
Mm-hmm.
That I just wrote that on some, I wanted it to be more of a, for me, I wrote it for me, really, but
Right. Right.
the fact that, other people getting something from it is super dope, man. I can't,
It feels good, don't it?
man, it feels really good for
It
sure.
feels good. It feels real good, and
Yeah,
I'm happy that's happening for you. Like
yeah,
I'm in me myself. I'm learning uh just to be happy for other people. You know what I'm
right,
saying?
right.
Especially for us as Black men. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? Like this is a little off subject, but like I can probably imagine while you're shining, while you're leveling up, while you're elevating, there has to be somebody sitting on the sidelines like, fuck that nigga, or this,
Mm-hmm.
that, and the other. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
But it's for me, I like to hear good shit. I like to hear good shit from good people doing good things, bro. Uh, and it's good to hear like how your mind works and your processes, on putting together this album and the messages that you have laid into this project.
Word.
And I think a lot of people deserve to hear it.
Yeah,
That's one thing I'm big on. It's not so much the stream count itself, but how many ears are you gathering?
exactly.
Like I am an analytical guy. Being I got projects out there, I got other artist projects out there, so I'm analytical. But more so now than ever, I've been more so looking at how many people are engaging with this artist
Right,
versus just the tally of streams.
right.
The streams, we got the streams, but
Mhm.
are we reaching new markets? Are we reaching new territories? And or for somebody like yourself that is actually saying something in his music, is it resonating with other cultures? How do we, it's like, does that stuff, do you think about that stuff? Like how people receive your music in different countries or in different territories in the United States in different regions?
Yeah, I had to, man. Coming up when I first started, I really did, and I was just trying to prove that I'm the best rapper. And like I could
Yeah.
bar my contemporaries, but when I went to Spain, I think that's when everything changed for me, bro. When I like was able to tour out there and see like, different a different culture and how they receive hip hop. I think that's what changed it for me because
Mhm.
I was able to see like, oh, it's not really about, I mean, yes, what you're saying is cool, but it's really about the feeling you giving people,
Mhm.
how you saying it, because they don't speak the same, they don't speak English, they don't know what
Right.
they're saying, but they connecting with these words. And it made me really hone in on like, okay, sound and feeling. How I'm saying this,
Mhm.
how I'm delivering this message, and the backdrop of this message. So the soundscape of it. So it made me really dive into my artistry bag. With like
Mm.
the last two projects I dropped, I was able to like really start thinking more artistically and not always, every song don't need to be me having like a dope punchline or like some crazy triple entendre. Yes, I love doing that,
Mhm.
but it's more so about like that feeling that we giving people, bro. And like, and that's
Right.
the
Right.
how you can,
That takeaway.
yeah, like you can transcend, your neighborhood or the people around you if you got that. And it made me really just lock in because I think, being able to tap into different markets, different,
Mhm.
different countries is important for your career because you can have a long career. You got longevity
Yeah.
and that happens. So that's been my biggest thing the last 2 years, really just honing in on my artistic ability because I want to be able to, take my craft all over the world,
Yeah.
and that.
Yeah, definitely. I remember, I'm not sure if it was last year or the year before, but I remember seeing something you were posting on socials that y'all went to Spain.
Yeah,
And I thought that was just beautiful, bro.
yeah,
Because you do need to get out there. You do need to experience what the other cultures are living like
hmm
and see if crossing cultures, because none of them other guys in Cincinnati ain't trying to go to Spain.
yeah, like
No,
man,
let's be honest. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? I ain't gonna get into my low opinion of my hometown, but not on your time anyway. But I thought that was fantastic for y'all, man. I was happy to see some brothers from where I'm from
right,
taking that step because that's how I was. I did my first music conference, the Midem conference, back in '99
mm,
over in France.
dope,
And while me and my team were going to France for that, everybody else in Cincinnati was headed to Chicago to get scammed for some showcase. but
mm,
they couldn't see the global picture.
mm,
So I
mm.
just mentioned that just to say I'm glad to see that. So tell me how that trip to Spain came about. Was it just one trip or was it two trips?
2 trips, yeah. So I did. My second time was this past spring,
Hmm.
and then my first time was 2023 spring. So we did back to back. And yeah, just man, just came about just people, being, receptive to my art and just liking what I do and loving what I do and wanting to take it to a bigger stage, to a global stage. So we were able to make that connection happen. Shout out to Indie Tour Life,
Hmm.
people that put together the tour and just real independently curated, you know what I mean? And it was just dope
Hmm.
because it's not what you expect, I'm not going over there playing in crazy big venues.
Right.
But I went over there and played in these like these smaller clubs, where,
I'm familiar. I'm familiar with it.
and where it was just packed in there with people that want to hear music. And I'm like, this is crazy. My first show out there, I hopped on the stage, and they were going crazy. They didn't know who I was, but
Yeah, they love music, bro.
yeah, and
Over in the UK and in Europe, they
yeah,
love as you if your shit is good, they love it.
man, it was
And
wild.
it
Started singing it back to me. Like by the time I got to the second hook of a song, they were singing it,
nice.
and I'm like, oh man, I was high. Like this all the drugs I need right here.
Yeah, for sure, man.
You know what I mean?
That's the good shit right there, man.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
I'm happy you got a chance to experience that, and many more times you will get to experience that going on a world tour.
100%.
A lot of guys that I know from Cincinnati are even afraid to take that kind of leap, bro.
Yeah, man.
So it's good to see that you're out there doing that. I was talking to your manager, Jesse, telling him too, I was giving high praise to you and to him because he was telling me a little bit about how y'all worked together for X amount of time and some of the stuff that y'all had accomplished together. And I just thought that that was great, man, because I used to be an artist manager too. And I know I got some horror stories and war stories. So I thought it was truly great, man, that y'all have such a relationship that y'all progressing forward consistently. A lot of people go through a lot of bullshit just trying to break off just trying to launch off the ground between their teams. Whether it be an agent, a manager, somebody trying to be a business manager or whatever. I've even had, fallouts with attorneys, bro. It's just wild out here. It's wild out here. So to see what y'all doing on social media, and I know social media. I work behind the scenes too, so I'm all in the PR game. I know what all y'all doing behind the scenes.
Right.
But just to see constant elevation, that's inspiring to me. And I'm on the same path. Just we just on two different lanes.
Right.
So I always make it a point to try to, when I see somebody else doing that, to try to showcase them. Like I shared your album on my Facebook. And I think a couple of times I did, and just try to make sure I'm providing some encouragement when I see some good shit. So like with me, when I used to be working with different artists on the management level, or even when I was a road manager for some bands, it's always difficult to maintain these relationships for a while. Like you hear these old rock and roll stars, but like, yeah, I had the same manager for 30 years. Oh, I've been rocking with my agent for 20 years or such and such. And then because of the world we live in now, it's difficult to keep good relationships intact. Because we're so connected with social media, but we're so disconnected. And I just want to applaud y'all, bro. I mean, that's really where I'm going with this. I just want to applaud y'all because to see a team working cohesively, that's to be commendable because you don't see it a lot anymore. So
man, I think like, because one thing that my team always, thankful for is, like, I always say, I'm gonna work and do my due diligence, like, regardless of, because I always want to lead by example, so I don't never want to like feel like I'm solely relying on this person. I always told Jesse that too. Like, I don't want to make it seem like I'm relying on you. We're working together in tandem. And, like, he always been thankful for the fact that I've always worked and did my work. Do my work, always do my work, because because when he does his work and we come together and do it, up, you know what I mean? And it makes it what it is. So I always say to artists, that be looking for management, don't get lazy. You know what I mean?
Boom.
Get that.
Yes.
That they got this person that's, handling their day-to-day for them, but they get lazy within that. Nah, do the same thing you've been doing since before you had a manager, or good. But continue to work. When you get that manager, it's gonna make it even better. You know what I mean? So,
and same thing as you saying, that same thing when artists get signed to a deal, they get lazy too.
Exactly.
When they sign a label deal, they get lazy. So thanks for touching on that, because it for you to be a good artist, a great artist, a talented artist, that's your gift, and that's your craft, and that's your skill that you work on regularly to stay good. But a lot of artists, say for example, where you are right now at this stage of your career, it looks like great things are about to happen, right? A lot of artists in your position will start acting like, well, I got this now. You know what I'm saying? This shit is easy, but it's not. So the fact that you stay committed and stay devoted, that does help your team. Your team has to work for you, but you still have to continue to work because it's a group effort.
Exactly.
And for a lot of guys out here, and I know some of them listening and watching right now, y'all can't keep y'all team running right because y'all distracted by other bullshit. Y'all create a business plan. Y'all lock in on that plan. Everybody knows their role, and we all succeed.
Exactly.
That's what it sounds like. What it sounds like and looks like what y'all doing. That's why I wanted to mention it, just to give y'all a round of applause on that, bro. That's to be commended. And yes, for us, for me and you, for me, you and your team, that's everyday business for us. But to some of these motherfuckers, that's a foreign language. It's a foreign language. So it's to be commended that you got y'all all working together, playing y'all positions, and look at the impact you're having. You are getting the attention of larger people that can put you in a better position.
Yeah.
Basically, y'all setting yourselves up for success instead of setting yourselves up for failure.
Right.
A lot of cats got all the talent in the world and they do nothing, which is basically failing.
Yeah.
You
And that
yeah.
just
Go
around
ahead.
like it's gonna be all good. Like, oh, I know I'm great. I'm good, but man, what I learned real quick, talent, talent don't mean nothing unless you got, the right mind behind it. Because I done seen
Right.
people just squander their talent away and just, lose the opportunities that they have,
Yeah.
and or just give up after one obstacle, because like, this business that we in, it has a set of challenges, and especially when you're working with a team of people, you're gonna have your
Mm-hmm.
disagreements as well. It's just like it's like you have to learn how to, effectively work through those things and push
Mm-hmm.
yourself off. If you take one L, just dust it off, turn it to a lesson. Because
Right.
man, man, me and Jesse, he'll tell you, we done took a lot of L's, but we don't even look at them like L's. We laugh about them. So like we laugh about
Yeah. It's growth. You got to reframe it as growth.
yeah, now we know what to do when it's
It's a lesson.
up.
You
Yeah,
didn't lose, you learned.
exactly. So
Yeah.
it's been the biggest thing, bro. I as long as I'm able to do this, I know I'm always gonna be good. As long as I'm able to put
Yeah.
into the paper, get in that studio and put out my gift, everything else, I know I'm gonna do my due diligence. So I don't even care about, taking a so-called L.
Mm-hmm.
I know I'm a figure something out.
Yeah. It's a part of the journey.
Heck yeah.
Taking those L's is a part of the journey. And then what you got to take is the lesson from that L. That's
Heck
that's the L. It's not a loss, it's a lesson.
yeah. Yeah.
Um, yeah, man, that's dope. And so we already touched. I had another question. We talked on community engagement. You talked about you and some of the other artists that you work with in your team and how y'all
Yeah.
doing different things in different spaces. Just briefly talk to me about what is it like to be all these things, and then the most important thing is you're a father
Yeah.
as
Yeah.
as you navigate this independent hip hop space, as you navigate being a teacher and an educator, as you navigate
Mhm.
uh life,
Yeah.
whatever else might hit you, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? How is that? How does that feel for you being a father and the example that you set for your son?
Man, it's the best, man. Just being able to one, show him, he's taking all this in and seeing, everything that I'm doing, and knowing like he already knows work ethic at a young age. You know what I mean? He already knows what that looks like. So that's something I don't take lightly, man. And just
Hmm.
being able to uh, provide and show him like, hey, look, you can do these things, and this is what you can, get from doing these things.
Right.
But then it's also he sees also what am I doing when I get, the rewards. You give it back, right? You always like
Hmm.
give it back. You pay it forward in some way. The blessings
Yeah.
they keep rolling in, and then you roll it back out. You know what I mean? And it's a
Hmm.
cycle. But like with every part of my life, a lot of people always ask me, how do I do everything? How do I juggle it all? How do I like got and it can be difficult, but it's also fulfilling because these different things that I do, I'm fulfilled. They fill me up in a different way. Like I
Yeah.
may be, I may be feeling down, from the music.
Hmm.
It just had happened, but I go home and I'm with my son, I'm with my family. I'm like, oh,
Hmm.
I'm filling my cup back up. Or I may be really drained from the house, from family, go to the
Hmm.
music and that fills me up. I'm able to have that outlet, or teaching, getting that from the kids, and them giving me creative,
Or
uh
you have more than one?
yeah, I got a son and a daughter. Yeah.
Okay, okay. I didn't know about the daughter,
Yeah.
so I didn't mean to leave her out. No disrespect to the missus and
Yeah.
none of
Yeah,
that.
I just had her last year, so she
Okay,
yeah.
congrats, congrats.
Thank you. So yeah, man, just and then going back into like the classroom, being fulfilled from that, so these all these different things, fill me up in different ways when other parts of my life are lacking.
Hmm.
And I'm able to, pour that back into others, because I always say you can't pour from an empty cup. You gotta be fulfilled, and you gotta take care of self. And you need things
Amen.
that take care of you. You know what I mean? You need your own time, and you need certain things that you do that you love to do to help, fill that cup up so you can pour it back into others.
100%. That's good talk. That's good stuff, man. I
Yeah.
love to hear it because again, I gotta throw these jabs and these gems in.
Yeah.
It's a lot of brothers out here trying to be the top rapper, top producer, whatever, and they ain't paying no attention to their kids.
Mm. Talk about
Bruh,
talk
bruh,
about it.
bruh.
Woo.
Uh, y'all know who y'all are. Y'all listening, y'all watching.
Yeah.
We talking right now. We talking grown man business. We
Right.
talking about pursuing his ultimate career in hip hop while maintaining a beautiful career educating young children while being a father. And as I understand it, and we didn't get into it too much yet, but as I understand it, y'all been hitting up all the conferences and shit for the last couple of years.
Yeah, man.
So what's y'all excuse, niggas?
Yeah, man.
That's what I want to know. Y'all heard it. What's y'all excuse, niggas? This
Yeah.
man is juggling a lot, and I know firsthand this man is doing it, and he's still pursuing his dreams, and he's
100%.
taking care of his family.
Yeah.
And and for all I can tell, you seen how your head on straight in a motherfucker to me.
Yeah, man. I got support, man. I got man, I got a village, bro, and this and I don't take that for granted, like how I was raised, and
Mm-hmm.
we grew up, we grew up in these like, these tough environments, and saying how it is in Cincinnati, man.
Yeah,
Man, I'm
yeah.
downtown baby. I'm Avondale, I'm Westwood,
A1 from day one.
I'm every, what I mean? I lived in every hood. And the biggest thing that I had though was my parents, no matter what,
Mm-hmm.
even times where we didn't have, nothing. We had each other, you know what I mean? I always had that instilled with me, like the family unit.
Mm-hmm.
I always had that foundation. So and I know I'm blessed in that aspect because not everybody had,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Right, right.
Growing up, I know a lot of my friends that we were the house that people came to us, when they ain't had nothing,
Mm-hmm.
I think, because they were living with they had, single mothers or living with their grandmas, you know what I mean? So we had that, we had the house where everybody was there, but that's been my foundation, just being solid and always doing right by others because my family did right by me. And whenever I'm feeling down, I know I can always go to my peoples. I can always go to my family, my uncles, my cousins, my mom, my dad, my sisters, my brothers. So it's always
Right.
been that. It always been that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what's up, man. That is absolutely
Yeah.
what's up. Now, I got something that I looked up on you. I don't know anything about it, but you tell me what it is. But I think it might pertain to some of the other stuff that you're doing with the MRC,
Yeah.
the Hip Hop Academy.
Yeah. BTB Hip Hop Academy.
Yeah, talk to me about that.
Yeah. So that's my new organization that I started, part of BTB. It really is, taking what I do in the classroom with the kids. I infuse hip hop into everything we do. When we
Mm-hmm.
read in a book, we write a song to go along with it. We infuse hip hop. I got a studio in my classroom where they can record,
Mm-hmm.
their verses, and we analyze, hip hop lyrics for comprehension and just to improve reading levels. So been taking that success that I had with that, I was able to, within the district, I was able to raise reading levels by 110%. So
Dope.
I want to take that. Basically, what I'm doing now is taking that and putting it into its own tutoring organization where we're able to, and it's for free. It's all
Mm-hmm.
free. We only looking for sponsors and grants from outside sources, but for parents that's trying to bring their kids in, it's completely free for them to come in and get their reading help because reading
Mm-hmm.
levels have been down since the pandemic. So we want to start to raise those back up. And they say by third grade, they prisons look at the reading levels at third grade to see how many prison beds they're gonna get.
I read a little something about that.
So
Now, how would somebody get involved with that if they want to get involved with it?
just hit me up directly on the BTB Hip Hop Academy page on
Mm-hmm.
IG. You can send a little message there on my link tree that'll send a message to me. And yeah, if you want to get involved, any donations, or if you want to get involved and help out, that's much appreciated too. We're actually trying to put together our first annual back to school festival next year, where we get
Mm-hmm.
out book bags, supplies for the kids coming back to school. And we also throw a performance from different Cincinnati artists, get them on the stage so kids can see that and and be inspired by that, but also get some supplies as they go back to school. So yeah, just hit up the BTB Hip Hop Academy page. That'll be
Cool. I'll put that link on the podcast
cool.
description as well for you, and I'll
Yes, sir.
put it on the YouTube link as well, so people can get in touch with you with that. That's dope, man. Like I'm impressed, bro, and I don't impress easy. One thing I want to talk to you also about is your live performances locally in Cincinnati.
Yeah.
Did I read somewhere, am I correct? You performed at Motor recently?
Yeah, that was I did Motor probably right before the project dropped, like mid November, I believe, or was it October? It might have been October, but yeah.
I used to love that spot. I used to
Yeah.
go to that spot when they maybe it's shit. It's probably about 2015, 2016.
Mm-hmm.
When I come back and forth from Cincinnati to Miami. I
Mm-hmm.
used to like that little spot, man.
Yeah.
At the time they weren't playing much hip hop in there, but I love all kinds of music, so I'm in there with the rock heads too. But
Mm-hmm.
tell me what that was like. What was that like a what was the occasion? Just for the album or
Nah, so shout out to Wally, man, Wally Hart. He actually works at the MRC. Um, but he also outside of that, he puts on hip hop shows around the city with his What Up Wally company. And he just reached out to me, man. He always been a big supporter. He reached out to me when I opened up for Rod Digger, when I performed at
Mhm.
different places at the for different events at the MRC. So he had this booked up for Motor, and he was like, "Did I want to come through and do my thing?" So yeah, man, it was good, man. I was on a bill with a dope dude out of New Orleans, Underdog Central. He real dope,
Mhm.
so yeah, always a good time performing with Wiley and performing at Motor. I think that was my third time performing at Motor, and
Mhm.
great sound system, good intimate vibe in there when people get packed in there. So yeah, it was good to promote some of the music too before it dropped.
Mhm.
Was able to let people know what was coming. So yeah, man, fun stuff.
Dope. Dope. And then also with your live performances, you've done like a whole stage play, right?
Yeah, man.
Tell me about that.
Yeah, the World's a Stage. So that's what this project Color People Time was released under through the World's a Stage, which is like the stage play aspect of BTB that I started,
Hmm.
where we put on, and we were able to, I started a residency at Radio Artifact the past
Hmm.
year. So every first Friday we were able to do I was able to book artists to come in and do their own version of their own stage play, to tell their story. And it's something that I'm really, trying to, or not trying, I am, you know, uh making bigger and want to see it on a bigger level, bigger scale, because I love live performances, but good ones. you know,
Yeah, definitely.
you know,
Yeah.
like I like going to shows that really like, engage you and tell a story.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
so this whole idea came from, when I first did that first stage play last November,
Hmm.
and it was like, man, people loved it and was like, this was the best show I ever seen. And all the feedback we got was just out of here crazy. So I'm like, oh, we got something special here, that can
Hmm.
stand out. So, every project that I'm doing from now on is going to have that accompany with it, the stage play performance aspect. So we're planning the next one for Color People Time, that rendition of it. So you will see whatever you heard in that, whatever you heard in the album, the listening of the album, we're going to
Hmm.
to life, and tell that story on stage with props, dialogue, and just make it fun and engaging, man.
Is that going to be the one that's coming up on January 3rd?
Yes.
Okay.
January
And are you selling tickets beforehand?
Yes, yep. Selling tickets.
Tell the people how they can get tickets.
Yeah, you can get the tickets. Link in my bio, my IG. You can just find a link. It's right there. Events for the it'll say RSVP for the stage play, Color People Time stage play. You can get your tickets there. It's $10, or you can pay at the door, $10. But yeah, man, we trying to pack it out like we did last year, man. We probably did about 100 people in that venue, so we want to get to 120. It's a capacity of 140. We want to get to that. We want to push that limit. So yeah, man.
And that's a solid venue too. Good audio visual setup.
Yeah, man.
Solid venue.
My
Cool.
favorite city.
I'm gonna get those links from you. I'm gonna add them into the tags
Cool.
and everything as well for you.
Okay.
Now with this, so you're gonna be performing. Tell me just like a brief preview of what I would expect if I show up. If I'm in Cincinnati
Mm.
on the 3rd and I come out, what am I gonna see? Characters? How's it gonna
Yeah,
be?
yeah. So you're gonna definitely gonna see different characters. You're gonna see me in a full on Denzel moment. Like I'm in my Denzel.
Hmm.
I'm really I'm really honing in on like my theatrical performance. Because
Hmm.
it's all a part of the arts, performing arts. You know what I mean? So I'm trying to bring these lyrics to life. So that's something you're gonna see. You're gonna see props. You're gonna see stage props. You're gonna see visuals on the screen. That's gonna tell
Hmm.
the story as well. And you're gonna come into an experience where it's not your traditional rap show. It's not one where you have to be up, standing up all day, jumping around. No, we're gonna have, we're gonna have chairs set up as if you're in a theater. We're gonna have, we're gonna have light refreshments for people. We're gonna have, it's gonna start right away. I'm big on that, like telling when I tell people, even though the project called Color People Time, we gonna start right away. It's not gonna be a bunch of acts on the bill. I got one opener. He gonna do his thing, tell his story, and then we're gonna go into me immediately after to close it out. It's gonna be very structured and very like, I always like to say it's a good date night. You know what I mean? Bring your significant other through, and y'all have a good time, have some fun, get your little drink, whatever you do, get you some refreshment and just and enjoy a good show like you at the movie theater or at a stage play, Yeah.
And this is gonna be Friday, January 3rd at what time?
At 8 o'clock, we're gonna open doors at 8 o'clock. We're gonna have a merch pop up. So I'm gonna be selling some of these t-shirts that I got right here for the Color People Time. It goes from about 8:30 to 9, and then we'll get started with the first act at 9, and then I'll come right on at 10.
Dope. Y'all plan to be there. We're gonna put the link in this. This episode does drop just a few days from this performance, so y'all need to go ahead and check this brother out if you're in the greater Cincinnati city limits.
Absolutely.
And then I think I'm gonna try to make it, bro.
That'd be dope. Heck yeah.
What does the future hold for you?
Man, the future, like, and I was just telling this, man, the future for me right now is just a product of what I'm doing in the present. You know what I mean? And that's kind of been my mentality that I've been trying to take. So setting up the process is more so I've been getting away from like goal setting. I've been more so process setting. So doing what I'm doing, what can I do in this moment to propel me forward? And, right now we're in the process of, setting up the tour spring. So working with some people to set that tour up and getting out in different markets and being able to, just share my art, taking what I do on the 3rd, at the show on the 3rd and taking that on the road and, taking that stage play or rendition of that on the road and being able to show like, hey, I'm doing something, that stands out, that's different. So that's been my main thing, working inside out and letting the people come to us, letting the big players, the big movers and shakers come to us, have something for them that they interested in, because, a lot of times I think as artists, that you like to work outside in and go to these people like, hey, I'm this, I'm that. Like, oh, okay, and like I know another that can do the same thing. You know what I mean? So it's more so right now for me, like I said, process setting and working inside out, doing everything that I can within my team and doing something different and doing something that stands out for people to come to us and being like, hey, I want to help out and I want to be able to put invest into it if they want, or whatever it looks like, but that's just been my goal for the future, really just doing what I can in the present to setting up these processes for for everything that we got coming.
And I understand that, because I always say greatness attracts greatness.
Exactly.
And I was having a conversation a couple of days ago, actually, before Christmas. I was having by the time this airs, last week sometime, I was having a conversation with somebody and they were just talking about, how do you find a team? How do you find a team? Or should you find a team or should you build a team? For me, the type of guy that I am, I've always built everything from the ground up. But along that journey, greatness attracts greatness. So I've always attracted other talented people.
Yep.
I attract like-minded people with the same positive vibrations. People, in doing that, we may not all have the same exact final destination. But for example, if we're all headed to the West Coast, we're all headed west. We might be on the I-10. Somebody else might be taking the scenic route through the mountains north on the northern highway, but we all headed west. So why can't we help each other along the way while we're all headed west? Exactly. Is what I was saying to this person. And then I always also say, God helps you when you're moving. Yes. If you're not moving, God ain't gonna do nothing but watch you.
Talk about it.
And as you were talking about with the bigger people that can set us up for bigger opportunities as indie artists and as indie entities, they can push that button to make things happen for us. But a lot of artists fail to realize that you have to be already moving. You have to already have your
True.
BTBs in motion. I got to have my power blast in motion
Right.
to attract that money, to attract those investors.
Exactly.
And you can't just be sitting on your ass doing that.
Hey.
So that's why I asked about the future. And I like your answer because instead of talking about bullshit like what you want to have, where you want to live, you're talking about things that actually cultivate actual growth
Right.
in a communal way. I like that, bro.
Mhm.
Because a lot of people miss that point. It's about the journey, not always the destination. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
we want to go ahead and pay off all our bills. We want that big house, you know what I'm saying? But really, sometimes you got to appreciate the journey for what it is. There's a reason why it took this artist longer to get to that sweet spot than it did that artist. Obviously, because what's for you is for you, just like what's for me is for me. But
Right.
artists seem to forget the bare essentials is you have to be working on this. When you're working and you're consistently working, other people are like, oh, I want to be a part of that.
Exactly.
Now, be mindful, some are predatory, but some are genuine. And that's why I say sometimes it's good to build your team from within because you're attracting the outsiders that have a mutual respect for your process.
Right.
And then
100%.
they show themselves to be loyal to your process. And
100%.
then y'all can even learn from each other. You know, I always I could learn from a 2-year-old.
Yeah.
So, you know what I'm saying? So as you're piecing your team together, as you grow, sometimes situations and circumstances change. People's just like a husband and a wife. Sometimes you grow apart, as the cliche. We grew apart.
Right.
Sometimes your ideals no longer align.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm a supreme believer in, and I'm saying this for all the artists out there that don't have a good team, but think they want one. But you have to understand when you get that good person or those good people in your life on your team, you have to be ready for that.
Yep.
Just like Khari said earlier, you have to be not lazy. You still have to do your part and then some.
Yeah.
You can't be one of those artists that you did your verses in the studio and you shot the video. Your job is done.
Right.
No, no. Would you like you don't seem to be that kind of guy. Talk about that just a little bit so these cats can understand
Yeah.
what it really takes to get the momentum that you guys have gotten.
Yeah, man. It takes, like I said, like it's always, you can be the most talented, individual, but it takes a supreme level of focus um on the details and on, like I said, the processes. I think a lot of people they say they want something, you know what I mean? They say they want, they want to do this, they want to do that, but don't set up the processes to achieve that. You know what I mean? So
Right.
I'm all about the process and all about, okay, this is what I want. Okay, how do I get there? Like step by step by step. And I'm fine with taking a longer way if it helps me,
Mm-hmm.
pick up the knowledge that I need to along the way. You know what I mean? Like I said on my song,
Right.
I had to take the long way. You know what I mean? Because it has gotten me to where I'm at now. I know when I get in certain situations how to move and how to do something. But you can't just, I always say to artists, especially like younger artists that's like in high school, I always say like you have to if this is what you want to do, you have to have like a certain level of love for it. Like you gotta love it, because
Mm-hmm.
if you can't do this in front of only two people, then this is not something that you love. If you can't do this when nobody's
Right.
looking, then you don't love it. Like I've been doing this. I was doing this when I didn't even think about having a career. That's when I
Mm-hmm.
my passion, because I always would be in my room just rapping to myself, like, you know what I mean, writing rap. So that's first and foremost. But you also have to have understand like the business of it, and that you have to invest in yourself, but also you need to invest in the right way. You know what I mean?
Right. Right.
People invest into themselves paying for playlisting, thinking that's investing in themselves, and it's not. You
Mm-hmm.
not just throwing your money to bots, or
Right.
you know what I mean. So you have to do your research. You have to be very mindful of like people that's just trying to get a quick buck out of you. You have to know your
Right.
an artist. Don't just do any type of performance, any type of showcase just because you think that's what everyone is doing and that's what's cool. Like,
Mm-hmm.
don't. It's a lot of don'ts. It's a lot of don'ts, but it's a lot of
Yeah.
as well. So I always say, man, just just be mindful and sometimes you gotta have some trial and error. I know I did a lot, in this journey that that I know now I wouldn't do. Went through it already, but it's a game of just trial and error, man. Once you go along this journey, you see it. But if you don't go on that journey, then you will never know unless you go on the journey and take that leap, So
right.
yeah.
And in this next one is gonna really sound like common sense, but common sense ain't so common in 2024 as we leap into 2025. Just real quick, common sense ain't so common. So what advice would you give a young artist that's trying to decide who should be a part of their team? What to look for, like, because you have somebody you trust.
Yeah.
But everybody don't have that, and then everybody don't even know how to discern the difference. What advice would you give an artist looking to put together people they trust to really help them?
I think the biggest thing you want to look for is transparency. And when I say that, I mean, when people came to me, certain people that came to me, I know they had ulterior motives and were trying to, get get some, like, quick dollar, like, oh, I booked this show for you. I want 10%. Like, dang, I'm only getting $200 for the show. What you just like,
yeah,
crazy.
yeah.
But I think the biggest thing is just if someone's transparent with the business up front, and then they're doing their due diligence to handle the business, I appreciate that, and knowing the long-term goals of it. When I was first getting booked for, like, $100, $200 shows or whatever, Jesse didn't take nothing. He didn't want nothing. He said, for what? Let's just invest that back. We're going to invest that money that we made for this into something else. As you grow, as you start to grow, and, as we started to get bigger shows, getting to the $1,000, getting to, like, kind of like, the 4-figure range.
Right.
Even still, he's like, no, let's, because that's not nothing either. Let's invest it back again.
Yeah.
So things like that is what you want to keep your eye out on. It's like people like that, people that do business like that. Yes, you want papers and this is what the expectation is, but also you have to understand the longevity of it all. Not
100%.
Not looking for nobody that's just trying to get a quick buck out of you. And then also, if that person believes in you just as much as you believe in yourself, if not more, what I mean?
Right.
You that you may not see. I think that's a big thing. If you got somebody that's like kind of like, they're not working as hard as you, then what is it? What are they doing? So I think that is the thing. And then the last thing I would say is, finding someone that's that don't make the excuses. You know what I mean? Like, and that's like harping on like negativity. I think that's a big thing. And it's simple to say, but we all have our moments, but we all need to. I'm a big firm believer of like, okay, I'm solution based. Something may have happened, but let's figure out the solution. It may have sucked, but let's figure it out and let's try to figure it out. How we can, achieve what we're trying to achieve. But I say those three things, man. Just having that transparency with the business, thinking long term, not short term, and always, working hard and not having no excuses.
Yeah, no excuses is a big thing.
Yeah.
Excuses are for losers.
For sure.
Excuses are for losers. That's good stuff, man. And I appreciate you putting that information out there for the younger cats, or in some cases, maybe the older cats that's trying to do it, but looking at it the wrong way. You got to look at everything the right way. You got to reframe the negativity into positivity. That's good stuff, bro. Is there anything that I didn't cover that you do want to cover, or a point that you want to get across, or anything you'd like to? Anything?
Nah. I mean, we talked about everything, man. I appreciate this conversation for sure, bro, because we covered everything. You usually don't cover everything when you do these type of things, So
yeah.
I'm very
I'm moving a little bit different. So
yeah.
I'm trying to build something where we can, as a community, not only inform and create awareness about the things that we're doing and the products that we're selling, but that it also people can take something from it. They can learn something from it, and they can feel better about themselves because they get inspired by you. They get inspired by you when they see this stuff, and they hear now. They get to know a little bit more about you and all the stuff that goes into what got you where you are. versus them just thinking it's some overnight thing.
Yeah, it's not. And I think I know for me too, like even doing this is inspiring for me. You know what I mean? So I encourage, like, I always encourage a lot of artists to get on platforms and talk about their journey, because I know for me it's therapeutic when you get to talk about it with someone else and be able to, bounce off gems with one another, So I think that's important. And I think we got to do that more as a community, just like, especially Black men, man. Like,
definitely.
Like this, it don't gotta always look like traditional therapy or whatever, whatever. But it can be.
Bro, this is therapy right now.
It's therapy, you know what I mean? It's just talking, and we talking about the journey, and we reflecting, and like, oh, some things like when you ask questions, I just think about it. I'm like, oh, I never really think about that, but I have the answer for it because it's been in me. I just never verbalized it. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
Cool. It's cool doing things like this, man, for sure.
Well, I appreciate you taking the time to do it, man. I really am. I really am happy for you guys. I'm happy for you in terms of just being the artist and you getting your message out there and you doing it your own way. I don't have anything to do with it, so it sounds weird to say, but I'm proud of you and your team.
Thank you.
I'm proud of y'all of what y'all have accomplished and what y'all have yet to accomplish, bro. It's good stuff, and I see great things for y'all, bro. And it's already happening. It's already happening. This podcast is called Music Therapy and Motivation. I appreciate you being a part of it. I think the stuff that you shared, the gems you dropped, are going to help somebody else. But also, I'm going to make sure that I highlight you when this goes live and make sure that it gets the proper push that it needs. And again, I'll get with you guys later to get all the links that I need. I already asked your manager to send me some press photos and stuff like that. But there is one more thing somebody asked me to ask you about. I did get a note here. This is a good one. This would be a good way to close it out. What's up with your Star Wars influence?
Yeah. Man, dog, Star Wars is life, man. Like that's like
ain't it though? Ain't it?
I mean, if people really big fans of Star Wars, man, they'll know like it's a big impact on my music too. You can just tell how I put together stories and put together universes. Like this whole world's a stage, is a universe, Look at this in my own universe where I can, just play around in this universe and do what I want. But yeah, man, Star Wars is everything. But I've been locked in since I was 3 years old. It's like almost like a family tradition. My pops passed it down to me. Pops passed it down to him. I'm passing it down to my son. So it's everything, man. I watch it all, everything.
That's dope. Same thing, man. Same thing. I'm paying my Disney Plus subscription just to keep up with everything.
Exactly.
Even the stuff that everybody else put down. Yep. I'm still gonna check it out for myself. Yeah.
Rock with it.
That's dope. That's dope, bro. That's dope, bro. Hey, man, but seriously, man, I appreciate your time, man. I feel blessed just having a chance to talk to you and get to know you as a person, as a human individual, as a fellow artist, as a fellow entrepreneur. I hope great things for y'all, man. I really do. And everybody that's listening and or watching, y'all got to go check out Color People Time. I think are you selling any hard copies at all?
Yeah, I'm selling cassettes actually. Yeah, I'm selling cassettes. We're doing a cassette run for this. We're gonna have CDs coming too as well. But yeah, we got a cassette run going right now.
Where can they buy the cassettes?
You can buy that directly from Bandcamp as well.
Okay, what's name out the Bandcamp for the folks?
Yeah, that's on Khari BTB on Bandcamp, and I got those linked on all on my link tree as well. So
okay. I'll put the link tree in this. Y'all can go scroll to these comments and go check this brother's music out. Check out Color People Time and the stuff that he put out before Color People Time. If you have a chance to see him live as a part of one of his shows or as a part of his theatrical play, y'all need to check it out. I'm going to try to catch one myself. Like I said, I go back and forth between Florida and Cincinnati, so I'm gonna try to catch that one. If not, I'll catch the next one. But it's been a pleasure, man. It's been an honor and a pleasure talking with you. It's good to get to know you. I have shared your music with other people myself, just general listeners and some industry people I've shared it with. So I'm rocking with y'all, man. I like what y'all doing. And again, appreciate you taking the time. Everybody, this is Music Therapy and Motivation. I'm your host, Gino Black. Any parting words from you?
Man, keep going. Everybody out there, man, keep going, keep going. Do your due diligence, work on your craft every single day. That's how you get to where you want to go. That's all I got. Be the best.
And that's what it is, y'all. Peace.
Peace, brother.
Hey, bro, I appreciate it, man.
Yeah. Thank you, man.